The first thing the fire department's going to reach for in an actual accident, a structural collapse, a trench rescue, is the Paratech shore.
One day, Peter said, we have to develop struts because the other struts are garbage.
It was totally ill-suited and not the safest thing, but it was the only thing. We can make this ourselves. This is crazy.
So we went to make struts.
Now, let's go back.
The products we make, they're good. We take them seriously. They've saved lives.
There's no compromises in quality, there's no compromises in the materials used. And the products are just truly the best on the market. You really don't have to make up anything. Everything that we have in the arsenal in terms of products has been tried and improved in actual rescues. There's just nothing that compares. They just work, and they continue to work.
Back in 1985, we discovered a new application for air.
The idea of cutting sheet metal when necessary, about the only thing that would work would be an air chisel of some type. Problem was that it used massive amounts of air. And on the fire ground, there are no massive amounts of air. So we came up with how to build an air economic chisel or hammer.
Meet the pack hammer.
It's pack hammer because the sound is like pack, 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 pack. It sounds like an AK-47. It's a spring return piston. It's the only one tool like this because other tools, air controls the piston both ways. So if you're using a fireman's air bottle, it will take 15 minutes to empty.
Extremely robust tool that has a very wide array of applications, from chipping holes through ice in a lake to rescue an individual or going right through the side of a building. The automotive extrication, it's a pretty versatile tool. It has a bunch of different tool bits.
4 years ago or so, we tuned this to have more holes in the valve.
The speed and the force at which the piston in the tool is driving the bit at the end of it was optimized. So it's really the best it can be.
The only air-powered tool designed from the ground up, specifically for rescue, coming in an array of options tailored specifically to your rescue needs. The Pack Hammer SC was designed to run independently for that initial potential life-saving breach without waiting for any setup of generators or other energy sources. The ARF Grab-and-Go Kit sets a new standard for airport rescue breaching. Another unique and groundbreaking product was the Hydra Fusion.
A longshore strut that is black instead of gold, and inside there is a 10-ton ram.
Nothing like the Hydra Fusion in terms of its ease of use and its capabilities. Can lift and shore at the same time. It's using hydraulic technology to lift and Paratech shoring capabilities to hold that position. That concept came from the field. We did have just a ram available. It was just an off-the-shelf ram. His thoughts were, boy, if we could marry these two products together, it'd be pretty cool. Filtered back through the company, got to engineering, and we went to work trying to lay out and design a concept. Once we got into that, well, of course, we have two strut lines, Acme Thread and Longshore. We wanted to have the Hydra Fusion be able to accept either product. We were able to come up with an adapter cup at the end of the Hydra Fusion that would take either product. Once we did that, it had to be able to hold the capacities of the Longshore product as well.
If we got an underwrite on a school bus, if it's pinning somebody, we can actually go into the window of that school bus. So with the Hydra Fusion on there and 8 feet of gold longshore, we can lift the school bus from the windows of the school bus.
Again, a lot of concepts, developments, testing. We've made improvements to it too over the past 8 years. We never develop a product, introduce it to the market, and then walk away. There's always continual improvement.
3 versions have been developed and are used for rescues in everything from low-clearance inner-city trains to large trucks and machinery. In a search for more places where our struts could help in rescues, we started to look at the maritime environment. And out of that came the Paratech Maritime Damage Control System.
very early ships, they had damage control with them. And it was, and still is, wood for doing shoring. And it has been that for thousands of years, virtually thousands of years.
It's wartime, and you're on a ship, and the side of the ship has been hit with a torpedo, and you've got water coming in. You got to go down and plug that hole. You want to go down there with a handsaw and a bunch of lumber and nails, screws, or you want to go down there with the damage control strut, clip a couple of bases on the end of it, extend the screw, lock it down, and put it in place. A fraction of the time to do the same job. And it's reusable, right? The wood, no.
So the Paratech damage control system started out really with a thought that it's shoring, and everything we do in all our rescue strut system is shoring. So me and a few others in the company thought that it would be a simple transition to go from shoring land-based to shoring in the maritime world. Soon to find out that that was two very, very different worlds. Probably one of the most hostile environments you can be in. There's water coming in, there is movement in the ship, the water is cold, can often be dark.
It's going to be in water, underwater, exposed to salt water. How do we make it operate smooth and easy in those conditions? So we had to do a lot of modifications to the longshore platform to make sure that water could empty out and you could extend the screw out of the strut easily, even if it was underwater, and have a reflective finish on it so that it could be easily seen in dark spaces. It had to have specific bases developed for it for use inside of ship hulls.
This is the only system that has the capability of making all the braces that you can make with the traditional wood bracing. What you can do with the Paratech damage control system, you can't do with any other damage control systems.
It makes it so much easier to apply damage control as opposed to lumber.
Today, navies and maritime fire departments in Scandinavia, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and the U.S. are using the Paratech damage control system. After 9/11, the needs for more complete and mobile solutions became apparent. Meet the SMT series.
Back in the day, after my first few years I was here, I was out on the road doing shows and demonstrations. The only way I could take a lot of equipment with me is either a van, which didn't work because it didn't have the capacity for the weight, or a trailer. My first vehicles were actual small trailers, I towed behind an SUV. As I demoed the smaller trailers with a little bit of equipment in, fire departments wanted them. The biggest problem with the equipment is storage. Fire departments carry a lot of equipment on their rescue trucks. Where can I put the rest of this equipment? So the idea was we'll come up with an SMT with a trailer. It can be towed behind a medium or a light duty vehicle. It gives them a virtually maintenance-free vehicle that can be towed, and it's just there when they need it. First SMTs we did were trench rescue. Then we moved into the USAR, Urban Search and Rescue. So it's mainly different kits for the application that's at hand. There is a big call for combination trailers where they can do trench and USAR. The ramp is there, so you're not stepping down with heavy equipment. The struts are all in clips on the wall. We've come up with plastic bins where bases fit in. Boxes for the 6-inch bases. We got boxes for the 12-inch bases. For the straps, the chains, and bags, all labeled up and ready to go. Airbags are up the front. You pick what you need for the application, walk out, do the job.
Our SMTs are used around the world, from the US to Europe to Japan. It's the smartest and by far the most economical way to store and mobilize large amounts of equipment.
When I was 18 years old, I joined the Fire and Rescue Service. I met Howie and Bob, and a friendship developed. Bob, in the nursing home, is still my best friend today. Howie was my best friend for 40 years and partner, and that's not common in business.
Peter Nilsson, when we worked for Paratech, we became part of his family, so he nurtured us. So we always worked as a family and a team, so we gave it our best, and we still do give it our best. We all have the same goal.
Every day, we're here to manufacture the world's best products for emergency and rescue.
We're coming to an end. We've reviewed the past, but our journey has just begun.